So much for joining with us. I want to talk to you about my latest book that's been many years in the making. It's called Seven Success and Money Steps to Financial Freedom. And it's going to be coming out here shortly. But I wanted to give you kind of an overview of what we're going to be talking about today and how to be able to learn more about that. As you know, as a nonprofit foundation, we're selling these books for our cost. You can download them. This book isn't finished yet, but it'll be finished shortly. And you can also get these wonderful books on Amazon for basically our cost. We're as a foundation, our goal is to give back, and this is how we do it. But one of the things people keep asking me is how does this all tie together? You've got so many classes and so many things that you're teaching. How does it all fit together? Well, that all really fits together with the 7 steps to financial freedom is really how it works. So 7 success and money steps to financial freedom. And when you go to the site, and I'm going to take you there now, when you go to the website here, you can see when you come here to home, there's home right here. And then of course there's courses. You come down here to the free books and downloads. So after you come in here, come into the free books and downloads, and then go to free download. Now, when you come here, this is something I recommend that you print and put in your pocket. This is the steps. Now, there's 5 steps plus 2 bonus steps. So there's really 7 total. But the key here is to be able to go through and understand these steps and to really get a good feel for it and how it works with everything else we teach. So on the back of an envelope, you should be able to teach people the first 5 steps. And then the 2 bonus steps here is step number 1 is to make more money. And I'm going to show you where you can go into the website and go into a lot more classes that teach that. But number 2 is to separate your money. Do you have a system for separating it? Now, in order to grow any business, you have to simplify your business as much as possible and then multiply it. The complexity of a business is what kills stuff. Number 3 is to give to church and charity. That's number 3. Number 4 is to automatically invest. And then number 5 is basically to save and spend sparingly. Those are the 5 steps. And then from there, you need to do monthly deposits. Every time you make money, you do that over time. And then you have that increase in value. So monthly deposits times time, increase in value equals wealth. That's the key to the wealth formula. Now, to do that, to add monthly deposits, many of us need extra streams of income. We need a side hustle. We need a small business. We need to make more money. Now, it could be multi-level marketing. It could be internet. It could be just about whatever you want it to be. But the key is to figure out how to be able to get this going so we get more money down into the wealth formula. This is the key to wealth right here. I know a lot of people that have made a lot of money. They make a lot of money, but they've spent it all. They didn't automatically invest and they didn't give any away. So we want to change that. And the way that you make more money is you study successful people. You solve bigger problems and you add more value. That's how you do it here, and that's how you do it with your multiple streams. Now, once you get this up and rolling, you're going to have separate accounts. You're going to have an investment account. There's all kinds of different ones that you can use, but basically you're going to have a separate investment account for your investments. Just like you have a checking account for your money at the bank, you need to have a separate investment account. You're either going to loan money, you're going to either loan or own things. You're either going to loan money to somebody and they're going to pay you back an interest rate return, or you're going to own stuff. You're going to own a small business, part of a company or a business or other things like that. You're either going to loan or own. And then basically a lot of this liquid money we want to put into long-term stock. And the 2 that I'm going to recommend are Berkshire Hathaway and index funds. I don't recommend that you pick and choose. The reason is because a lot of people think, well, I've got some money in the stock market. How can I make more money with it? Well, the reality is that you pick and choose, you're going to lose. You pick and choose, you lose. Okay. The way you make money is by having your small businesses make more money. That's the key, is to continue to work on your small businesses with your time and energy, and then having smart people like Berkshire Hathaway and Warren Buffett And the 500 biggest companies in the world, the index funds, the S&P 500, make your money work for you. So that's kind of key. Now, also, you need to do some real estate. I'm a big real estate fan. I've bought millions and millions of dollars in real estate. I've been involved in all kinds of investments, shopping centers, hotels, everything. But I started with a dumpy little house that we fixed up, and then we sold it and went on from there. But what I want you to do is I want you to literally print this out. And again, the way you get there is that you come to the website. Again, you come here to courses, come down here to the free books and downloads, click on the download, and then click on this one right down here, which is the download the 5 steps. Okay, that's where you're going to find it. Now, on the flip side to that is how to make more money with your small business. All of you need a small business to make more money. And there's 25 steps and 25 things you can do. And I highly recommend you print this and you put it in your pocket. And you carry it wherever you go. And as you're sitting around, waiting for a bus or you've got a minute, just pull it out and look at it. And you're going to say, how do I make more money? Every day you get out of bed, you're going to look at it and say, how do I make more money? Do I have a simple system for separating that money? Is there anybody that we need to bless and help with? How are my investments doing? You want to automatically invest. And those are things we can do that stop spending so much money. Because the real goal, the real key to success is to get that into step number 4. Everything else is just talk. I don't care how much money you make. I don't care where you spend it. Honestly, I really don't care where you spend it. The only thing I really care about, are you getting as much money as you can into step number 4, which is to automatically invest. So to do that, many of you need small business. And so this is the 25 steps that Steve Gibson teaches. And I highly recommend you pull those out there and you review that in your small business every day. I mean, you just say, how can I increase and keep better records? How can I value our customer? How do we make a profit every day? And just review that on a daily basis. Now, again, asset allocation. When you think about asset allocation, you're either going to loan or you're going to own things. You're going to loan or you're going to own things. If you are loaning, we need to understand what our rate of return is. Okay, that's kind of crucial. You're going to do that with our loan side of it. You're going to do that through your bank accounts. You're going to do it with bonds, which are basically loans to organizations and to the government, to schools, to companies, things like that. You loan money to the bank. The bank's not paying you anything. They're taking your money and they're doubling your money, and they're just taking advantage of you. Don't get me started there. But the opposite of loan is own. You can own some real estate. All of you need to own some real estate. Rentals. The home you live in is not an asset because you are making the payments. It's not an income producing asset because you're the schmo making the payments. So you need some rental income, or you need to flip some properties. The stock, again, the 2 big ones are Berkshire Hathaway and the S&P 500. If you pick and choose, you lose. Those are the 2 ones I recommend. And then some of you want to get some crypto. If you're going to do crypto, the 2 that I recommend that I do is Bitcoin and Ethereum, because the Bitcoin's the firstest with the mostest, and it's one that's got a limited supply. It's already out there, and it's the basic. It's the Coca-Cola. It's the biggest with the mostest. That's kind of what we call it. Ethereum is the software for many of these other cryptos to run on. It's the Microsoft Word, Microsoft system that all Word and everything else runs on. Now, if you do want to put a little bit of money into it, you can do the top 100 crypto or some new issue crypto. Again, if you pick and choose, you lose. If you only have a small amount of money, I would put it right there if you're going to even do that at all. But that's the key to be able to get wherever you're going. Now, what's important for you is that you see these things, you're going, well, gosh, where do I start? Where do I learn more about these things? Well, that's what is so cool about what we created on the site, because we have all these wonderful courses that fit into these 7 steps. Okay, they all fit in the 7 steps. So just be aware that, one of our missions is to help you get started. So when you go through the steps and you do the Earn While You Learns, we're going to put some money into your Buffett account or your crypto account. This is how you're going to get started. Most of you should be going through the Money Made Easy courses because we've simplified it. This is the simplest way we can teach it. Simplify and multiply. Simplify and multiply. A big Warren Buffett fan. I highly recommend you go through these and go through with your kids and your teens and your young adults. You know, everything you need to learn about business as a big operation, you're going to learn from Warren Buffett in this one little class here. It's a cartoon, but don't, you know, there's wonderful material there. Now, in order to be successful and to make more money, you've got to study successful people. Well, how do you do that? Well, you come here to the Success and Motivation, and every one of you should be going through all these classes. I listened to Tony Robbins today. I'll listen to him probably 4 or 5 days a week. Musk, Dave Ramsey, all these guys are wonderful. And these are introductions. And then once you get into that, you can get into even more and more detail. And we'll kind of tell you where you can go to pick up more and more great information. Study people like Walt Disney and Roy Disney. How did they do it? All they did was add a whole bunch of zeros. What were the things that they did that made their company so successful? Many of you around the world should be concentrating on the internet and using the internet because you can charge a premium rate for your skills around the world that the cost of living is different where you live. So, you know, you might get a job doing something, you know, down the street, but you'll make more money by taking your wares to somebody where it's more expensive. And you can take that anywhere you want to go. Highly recommend going through these STEM classes. Success and Motivation. This is how you study successful people. How do they do what they do? And these are wonderful. This one here, Inner Success and Wealth, is a wonderful one that Robert Allen did. That is really unique. The way that we did that, we had all these screens and all the students were inside this big circle, and we had all these projectors projecting things. So it was just pretty incredible. Kurt did the Millionaire Psychology, which is wonderful. Highly recommend all of these. Personal development, you got to work on yourself. This priming exercise that Tony taught, that they do, I do this one. I'll try to do this one 3 or 4 times a week. I did it yesterday. I did it twice. Today I did it once. Highly recommend it. The blue vase about commitment and getting stuff done. Robert Allen's 4 maps are just wonderful. And again, these are introductories that we want to expose you to wonderful things, and then you can go and search out and go even deeper. But if you want to be successful, this is who you study. And then, of course, we have our weekly podcasts that we do. Personal finance, you want to get in, get going, this is where you get started. Ross Jardine's got some wonderful material. All the stuff from the Young Investor Society is great. Making more money with your job, and making more money with your job is crucial. That's probably where most people are going to make the most money in their lifetime. But you also need this small business to go along with it. And there's information by Michael Gerber, who trained with me. Jay Abraham, I paid a fortune to, but these 2 guys helped take our businesses and we 5x'd them. You know, instead of doing $7 million a year, we were doing about $35 million a year. And this is a wonderful class here that Kurt has been teaching. This is the Creating Family Prosperity that Steve Gibson has. Money courses, I highly recommend you get in and really understand the multiple streams of income. Many of my real estate deals are in these books. Highly recommend that because you need to create extra streams of income. And then, of course, Bob Allen and Mark Victor Hansen did the 1 Minute Millionaire, Cracking the Millionaire Code, which I really like. The 1 Minute Millionaires. I would really highly suggest you start with that one beforehand, because one side is a novel. It's a novel that was made up of our successful students, and then the other side is more of a logistics of how they did it. And then Kurt, of course, did some stuff on crypto. You need to understand banking. You know, everybody's so confused on what's going around the world because they don't tell you enough. Need to learn how to make some money quickly. You all need to make more money with sales. Whatever you're doing, and you're all saying, well, I'm not a salesperson. Well, everybody's a salesperson. Everybody is selling something. Everyone is producing something, and you need to learn the techniques for people doing that. All of you need to own real estate in your lifetime. Many of you are just renting, and you've got to change your mindset. Somebody's paying it, and somebody gets it. Them that understands it gets it. Them that don't pays it. I highly recommend you jump in and go through the Mark Harrelson book, How to Wake Up Financial Genius Inside You. I read that book when I was in my late teens. So I was probably 18, 19 when I read that book, 18. Doing your business. Many of you have done direct sales and network marketing. Many of the direct sales and network marketing has a bad ring to it because you did it wrong. You did it wrong. You didn't do it as a system, and you just did it as a gamble. Do you really want to know why we invest with like Warren Buffett does? Because I started reading his books decades ago. I've got 3 of his autographs. He's 4 days. My dad's 4 days older than Buffett. They have a lot in common. Buffett just added a whole bunch of zeros. But if you want to understand how we think and why we do what we do, then we want to study Buffett. And then, of course, we have a section for women as well. We have a section on health. And then we have more and more courses on STEM classes and things like that. So that's something that I highly recommend that you guys get back into. And as you go through the 7 steps, there's 5 steps plus 2 bonuses. Really get into it and go through these classes. There's hundreds of hours of classes. We got students who've been in class for 350 hours. That's the first thing, is to start learning. But number 2 is to pull the trigger. We had a lady that bought a whole bunch of real estate, and she ran into Bob Allen just some time ago, and she said, I got your book, Nothing Down. And Bob said, well, did you read it? Was it good? And she goes, I didn't even read it. I just read the title, and it said that you could buy real estate with nothing down. So I just started doing that. Well, that's pretty impressive. And a lot of these big organizations, they buy real estate with other people's money, is really what they're doing. When you say nothing down, it can be your money or somebody else's money or no money, just depending on what the deal is or how you do it. And I highly recommend that you get those involved as well. So that's our new system right there. Want you to get involved. I want you to understand this new system and really learn it. I want you to share the wealth with others. I want you to teach others. I want you to help them get to their next step. And we're going to say goodbye to our friends from around the world. We're going to be right back. We're going to talk about the National Day of Service. Then we're going to give a bunch of money away. We're going to give a bunch of stock away and Bitcoin away. Thanks for watching. Be right back.